Hear me. Hear me. Okay, good. So we can start. All right. Okay. So at this point, what do you think about the result of the opening? Hello? Don't like how he's going to get it. Yeah. Okay, so opening was complete failure. Yeah, let's look at what happened first. Uh, was this a mouse slip? Gray John? Was this a mouse slip? Yeah. Can't promote on the 6th. I don't understand that. Huh. What's the next move? One nine dragon. Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, that works still. Yeah. Okay. So here, instead of this, what do you think is better? Yes, instead of that. H6 pawn. So, and if he does this, you know, in this position, I still think you're better, but what happens if you do this? And then you can promote next. If he does a move like, let's say this, then you can grab here and then fork silver and dragon. Okay. All right. Okay, so what did you guys figure out where the critical mistake was? We talked about 6-5 pawn and allowing bishop exchanges. Okay, so it's this. Yeah. Okay, so once a diagonal is open, you notice you can't close it again. So pretty much at White's pleasure, he can, you know, pull this guy back and exchange the bishops. And do you remember what I mentioned yesterday about arranging rook side? About the bishops? Hey, hi. Right. So that doesn't mean you never will end up exchanging bishops. It's just that the timing of it has to be very careful. Yeah. Okay. So here is the position still okay? Okay. Looks fairly safe. Okay. Gray John says looks fairly safe. What do you think? Shogi Ban. Okay, he says I can still exchange pawns to get a pawn in hand. I'll still be able to spend some moves strengthening my castle. Yeah. Right now this thing is the pieces aren't connected well. So prior to going for shikake and sabaki, uh, what you have to make sure is that your castle is completed. Otherwise, after things are exchanged, stuff like what happened in the game, you see, as soon as he promotes, then this guy's going to be attacked. So yeah, so I don't know if you remember, but I said that bad shape leads to loss of time, or weaknesses lead to loss of time, and that shows up right here. So prior to that, you want to spend a little bit, invest a few more moves tidying up the shape around your king. So maybe like this or this, or silverback. Still, this isn't quite ideal. Partially, it might be better with the silver, but on the other hand, the pawn in front of on your bishop's head is kind of unprotected. Um, so maybe he can do something like this. But this thing is closed, so I actually don't know. Uh, okay, let's see. Let's say the game continued like this. Is this fortress shape strong or weak at the side? Yeah, weak at the side. Okay, and what direction is the attack probably going to come? Yeah, there is a possibility that there could be frontal stuff, but it's a lot less likely now that you have fortress shape. It's very natural when white gets sabaki for his rook. The first thing the first side that's going to be attacked is this way. Attack on the side. Okay. So instead of this move, if leaving it as it is in a Mino is strong from the side. What do you think you could have played instead? So maybe, yeah, that's a possibility. 3-7, 3-7 knight, or maybe even just going into a high mino like this, and then you can do this. Do you remember what I said about the left mino? I was talking about that today and yesterday, if you remember. Uh, high mino seems nicer, but don't push the knight. Mm, yeah, yeah. I mean, it depends what you want to do. I was talking with high mino has a bishop, so the diagonal lead. Yes. So yesterday I was talking about the weakness on the long diagonal and why people were playing the Tenchukaku Mino. It was just to get the king off of this long diagonal. And there's pluses and minuses to this plan. Okay, so we know the weaknesses. There's possibilities of attack on the long diagonal. So let's say he does like this. And then you see this and this. There's a geometric relationship. So we do that. Okay, so black's starting to get some type of play. White's probably going to have to solidify his castle and then maybe get off of the long diagonal. Right now the diagonal is closed, but it's not going to stay closed forever. Things can very quickly open up. So what about a move like this? What about the edge attacks? It might... you see, it's because it's a silver crown, it'll help protect against it. The situation isn't ideal, but things never are. There's always going to be pluses and minuses to whatever plan you choose. So it might be even worse to keep the king on the long diagonal. So the plans that we choose it's according to what kinds of weaknesses there are in the opponent's position. So because there's a potential for play on the long diagonal, moves like this and this are, these have to be natural considerations. So let's say he first exchanges like this and then does that. Still threatens this. If here, then this looks pretty strong. So if here, so we see maybe it would have been better earlier to have sacrificed this pawn. So let's play with that for a bit. Maybe this, and this seems to be an improved version of the previous variation. If here, then maybe you can just get sabaki. I don't know. What do you think? Hey, hi. Well, I haven't seen you in a while. Kanashimi no Habi. Yeah, Happy New Year. Looks pretty strong. Because if you do this to try and win this, there's just too many weaknesses. White has too many weaknesses. Um, you have to worry about stuff like this, like this, like this. Yeah, I think this 5/5 pawn would be too slow. So if he moves his king over, um, you can get some aji by first sacking on the edge and then maybe like this. If here, then here. If here, then I don't know, maybe even like this. You're streaming lateness in my country, so it's hard to come. Oh, well, I'm glad you could make it today. Yeah. Shogi Ban, what do you think of what's going on here? Is this kind of making sense? Yeah. Black seems to be getting way more play than in the game. And it's all based on weaknesses in the position. So, yeah. Anyway. So did you have any questions? Greyjohn mentioned trying to defend the pawn advance with opposing rook. At what point? This is something common, switching from fourth file to second file. Yeah, oftentimes the rook ends up moving to another file, but doing it in the game that you guys played might be kind of passive. It would depend on what point the move was. Where were you thinking of? You mean like here? I think around there, but I don't think we found any scenario where it would have helped. Well, so what do you do? Exchange? Like this? And then how do you follow up? Okay, Kanashimi no Heavy asks, do you have some websites or something in PDF alluding to static rook versus central rook? I don't have anything in PDF. Most of what I do is in video form, and most of the subject matter is middle and end game stuff rather than openings. Okay, Shogi says, and then maybe, oh, Greyjohn says, then maybe drop the bishop to 3-3 or 4-4. Okay. What happens if he does this? Looks like bad shape. Well, it's not going to stay bad shape forever. I mean, for sure, it's going to take a little bit of time, but he's going to repair it. It depends on what white has. No. Oh, how would you follow this up? So if white has some really quick way to exploit this, yeah, then I definitely agree. Maybe attack on the 7th file. So would you start it by doing this? So you'll probably repair the shape by doing, well, complete the castle by doing maybe this and this. And then what? Maybe here? Yeah. Yeah, I'm not completely sure about this. You know, it could very well be Saksen Make for black, but as there isn't any like immediate breakthrough or anything that you can do, you know, it might be on the verge of playable. Yeah, just to get off this diagonal. Because if you ever play something like this, you know, there's that. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, putting a pawn here was probably a little bit too passive. Should probably do this, and then maybe later on decide what you want to do with the pawn. Yeah. Did you have any other questions? Hope I didn't miss much. Yeah, I think we're coming to the end of the review, but good that you could come anyway. Back rank 1, 2, 3. Shogi did you have any other questions? Okay, so what did you guys learn today? Once I reach 7 8 silver. I had to form a plan and couldn't figure out what I really wanted to do. Yeah. 7, 8 silver. That's all the way back here. Yeah. Well, as you get more used to the opening phase of the game and, you know, just playing experience, eventually that'll no longer be a problem, but it's just, the time playing and starting to get there. A lot of times for initial positions, that's why studying beforehand, I, I always emphasize a middle and endgame study, but you can't completely neglect the opening study. So some of your study time should be allocated toward that, although not in as large proportions as for middle endgame and actual play. Okay. All right, so what did you guys learn today? I will start from this move. Yeah, that was kind of my reaction to back rank. Spend moves making the king safe. Yes. Okay, that's one. Also, you choose when making your king safe, you have to make sure that the castle chosen is appropriate for the situation. So because you're playing against static rook, and in all likelihood the attack will be coming from the side, you want a castle that's strong from the side. Okay. So a fortress shape is strong at the front but weak at the side. So it's inappropriate in this case. Okay, and what was the next thing that we learned? Don't exchange bishops when you're ranging rook unless you're timing it well. Yes. So oftentimes in traditional ranging rook, the early exchange of bishops often favors the e-bishop side. That does not mean that ranging rook never exchange bishops. It's just that he has to time it. Okay. So by playing this, you essentially allow white. You're giving him the choice of when he's going to exchange it. So, yeah. Okay. And the other. And what about the left Mino versus Tenshukaku Mino? Yeah, we can flip the board. Yeah. So the purpose of Tenchukaku Mino is just to get off this long diagonal. But the trade-off is on 2-3, the head of the king is weak. So there's always good and bad aspects to castles. There's no perfect castle. With the left Mino, you're able to go into silver crown and make the head of the king a lot thicker, but at the cost of remaining on the diagonal. So that's a weakness of this castle. Okay. And what about choosing plans? How do we go about deciding what plans to choose? Make plans that take advantage of the geometry. Yeah, that's more of a tactical issue. But we have to take advantage of weaknesses in the position and aim for them. So let's say the head of the bishop is weak. A lot of times plans can revolve, for the opponent can revolve around attacking in that direction. So we play according to weaknesses in the opponent's position. So we say that the king is on the long diagonal, so we're going to try and do stuff on the long diagonal. So later on this, like we showed before. Okay, and lastly I think about sabaki. So identify the weaknesses of the position and try to make moves that target them. Yes. Okay, and what about sabaki? I think that's the last thing for today. Yeah, okay. So sabaki it's marked by piece activity, and a lot of times exchanges occur. So before this burst of activity, you want to make sure that your king is in a solid position. You see, white's position is very solid, so he welcomes sabaki, whereas black not so much. Yeah. Okay. All right. I think that's it for today. I want to thank everyone joining me today. This is the first stream of the new year. I hope 2019 is great for everyone, and hope to do bigger and better things this year. If you haven't already, please register your Twitch account. You can do that for free and give me a follow. And if you wish to support the stream, you may do so at that Streamlabs link. Donations are not required but are always appreciated. And I will see you guys later. Take care. Bye.